So, as far as the grading criteria, your grade will be based upon quite a good deal of writing, although some writing will be less formal than other of the writings that you're going to do. Notice that you have weekly discussion and topical posts worth 15%. This is approximately 1 point per week for quality posts in which you engage some of your classmates or all of your classmates in ideas and observations that you've had on the readings that you've been doing. Now, at the end of each block of instruction, based upon these weekly writings, which by now you've formulated some kind of idea, some kind of concept of what you want to talk about, I'll ask you to please reread and then edit and revise and submit to me in essay form something about 2 to 3 pages in length, something about the culture that you've studied. And we're going to go into this in detail, how to write following a thesis. And it doesn't have to be a thesis for the entire paper, which, as you know, you have a maybe 12 page paper due at the end of the semester. But what you're doing is your little mini thesis on a topic that will correspond to what we're doing in class. So not only will you get a grade just for that sort of thinking process while you're putting it together in your weekly discussions, but later as you've sort of developed a more seasoned critical perspective, you'll be able to show how you've developed this in essay form. And there'll be about 4 or 5 of those for a total of 20%. Now, there's also a midterm test, which will be largely short answers identified, but there will also be some essay questions that are also intended for you to have a background of how you should be thinking about Latin America. I'll discuss that in greater detail later, but be aware that that's worth 25% of your grade to cover the content we will have covered so far. Then you're going to have, over the course of this time, you should be developing a sense of what area or sub-area of Latin America would you like to study. I would ask you to please, everybody pick something different so we get the entire continent. In other words, I hope not everybody's going to say the Caribbean or Central America. I hope we'll be able to incorporate all of the countries that have had a massive import to how the society looks nowadays. But that essay will basically be very well structured even before you start. And I say that because this is what we're going to do with those 2 to 3 page essays that you're giving me. You're not going to just write from scratch a 12 to 15 page paper, but you're going to take those chronologically arranged essays and you're going to be able to put them into a thesis. So the only thing you're really going to write is going to be the end and the beginning. I'm going to go into greater detail for this later. I don't want you to be scared. I don't know if you've all done a proper term paper yet, but this is your opportunity to really develop that within yourself. So your grade for those essays is going to be important. It will be based both on the content, and I'll be observing that, and we'll be refining each other's thinking as we go along in the weekly discussion board. But then when you submit that 2 to 3 page paper, you're going to have an essay on your writing, form, grammar, style, sentence structure, etc., as well as the quality of the content. Feel free to edit each other. Turn it into a friend. If you're welcome to do that before you submit it to me the final time. Now, shortly I'll be posting a whole battery of PowerPoints on the writing process. But first, I'd like to just go ahead and cover these topics. Thank you for your patience. Any questions you have on the grade, you might have some questions about the critical essay, and I will go into greater detail on that on another, either perhaps I'll just send it to you because these videos are amazingly difficult to upload. But So, okay, so we'll talk more about that later. But the rest of it, hopefully, you'll have a good sense of how to handle the week by week topical posts and then that 2 to 3 page essay at the end of each topic. Thank you.